we used to always set up the band so nobody would ever be standing in front of somebody. So all you got to be doing is standing in front of somebody and hitting on some chick that they tried to get the hit on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm telling you the truth. We're just going to have a good time tonight. I'm just a guy who's been blessed. A lot of people that like what I do, and I try to make them happy. And I hope that tonight I can make all of y'all, as Texas talk, y'all happy.
Back in the heyday of Motown, jazz and blues, Gil Askey was stuck behind a desk, writing, producing and arranging music for bands like the Four Tops, the Temptations, Jackson 5 and Diana Ross and the Supremes. During a tour with Diana Ross, Gil and the band were saved from terrible Melbourne weather by a lady in a van. 7 years later, he married the lady who was driving the van.
When I was in fourth grade, when I was about fourth grade, this man came through. His name was B.L. Joyce. I was about 12 years old, and I'm on the ground shooting marbles and playing with my buddies, shoot marbles and this. So my sister was in the high school band. So a guy came around and said, "Gil Askey, when you gonna join the band?" And I raised up because there were girls in the band. They bands for a bunch of sissies. I'm gonna be a football player. Sissies, oh boy. So a couple of days later, my mother called me in the room and says, called me up to her house, which is on the next corner up, and said, "Mr. Joyce wants you in the band." And I screamed and hollered to Noah Bell. He was sitting over in the corner with this beat up trumpet, a Martin trumpet. Sold it to my mother for $10. So from that time on, I just did it because it was funny to me. I didn't want to play in no band. I could go through the exercises and show you how I started, man. But when I started learning that one note, I had to learn one note. And he would tap me across the shoulder like this on that little bone. That's the wrong note. So finally I made the note. Do it again. I said, "Now you go home and practice that note. Come back next week." Whole week I had to practice that note. So I started learning that one note. So I'd stand in the front of this little girl's house. I stand out there. So I found other notes. And I learned a thing called pulling. Get out of here with all that noise. But I kept on playing.
After a few years travelling around, it all got too hard for the Askeys, so they decided to settle in the Bayside area of Melbourne. And he's been here ever since, playing the pubs and clubs around town, teaching and joining in with a new generation of musicians.
Anyway, but it just, so living in New York, you just stand on the corner of 50th and Broadway, you meet all the musicians in the world. Everybody came to the Barber Street. Beefsteak Charlie's, everybody, Beefsteak Charlie's, yeah, we gotta go down to Beefsteak Charlie's. And you stand there and you meet, and everybody comes through there, and you say, hey, baby, what's happening, you know? So that's where it all started, you know. You meet this guy, hey, man, you want a gig? Where's your horn? Horn's home. How you gonna get a gig and your horn's home? So you start taking your horn around. So you begin to meet. So you do a good job, and he tells somebody, who was that trumpet player? Send you on a job. You looking for the band leader. You find the band leader. I remember Buddy Walker. I said, Tommy sent me. Tommy sent you. Who are you? I said, my name is Gil Askey. Damn, I could have had Buck Clayton or Shorty Baker on the gig with Shorty Baker playing with Duke Ellington. See, you, big time. Here you are. And after about the third or fourth song, he turned around and said, what you say your name was? You know, I'm whooping all over, you know. Got all of my mutes, got my mute stand with my derbies and my mutes, and I'm playing, you know. I became his first call trumpet player. About jazz, I think about happy music. You know, I can play you some rock and roll. And then I'll play you some jazz. Some Lionel Hampton or some Duke Ellington or some Count Basie, and you can't keep your feet still. Makes you happy, makes you dance. And I think the jazz will be here forever, because when people feel sad, they put on a jazz record, man. They put on some jazz, man. It just makes you, brings you alive.
The world that shines so bright, the mystery of the family life, like China upon a caravan.
Gil has always been passionate about music. His dedication has not gone unnoticed. In 1973, he was nominated for an Academy Award for the title song in the film Lady Sings the Blues. In 1974, he was bestowed with an honorary doctorate in humanities. He served his country for 3 years during World War II in the Army Air Corps, and was awarded a plaque for achievement in the field of music and entertainment by the World Masons. In his hometown of Austin, Texas, Gil was honoured with a day dedicated to him, December 11th, 1974. 11th Street was also proclaimed Gilbert Alexander Askey Street for the day. But all of this doesn't faze Gil. He's not one for bragging about his achievements. He teaches at many schools around the Melbourne and Frankston area, as well as the summer schools he runs. He plays at the Mentone pub on Sundays, Dizzy's Jazz Club most Fridays, and with whoever has a good gig going. All that, and he's officially retired, a true jazz musician.
I suppose the main thing is, when I play, I always like to play to my optimum. It doesn't matter if I'm playing at a concert hall or a small club or out in the street, so I like to play my optimum. And Gil taught me that it doesn't matter if you're playing your optimum or not. It wasn't so much about yourself, it's more about engaging the audience, which is really something that I'm really, really into. It's taking your audience away from all their problems and all their stuff. And
Learning from the older generations is by no means a new concept. This is the way teaching has been going on since the start of time. You could even say that originally this was the only way knowledge was passed on, word of mouth. An old tribal leader telling stories to the little ones.
And I just saw him as someone who could teach me something that I really wanted to learn, which, to tell you the truth, really doesn't have much to do with the trumpet, I don't think. It's more of an attitude, you know. The trumpet's just a tool, but I think I just saw this thing that I could learn off Gil, which was, I suppose, a true musical spirit, how to be a musical spirit, how to express yourself, what's inside of you, and not be afraid to do it and just put your personality out there, which is what jazz seems to be all about. Yeah. So I think that's probably what I saw in Gil. I think the one thing I've learned from Gil and I really love about Gil is the way he puts people on the spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Settergreen, give him a big hand. Marionette, Mr. David Woodard. Okay, who's next?
It's kind of funny, you know. It's kind of funny. This old dude who's like lived through jazz in its heyday, and I just think it's funny to see this guy that's been through all that, living out on the peninsula, and teaching these really serious young students how to play jazz. You know, it seems like if Gil was their age, he'd probably be, you know, out partying like a monster. Who knows? But that doesn't mean that he can't relate to these people, you know, and that they can't relate to him. I mean, that's the amazing thing about Gil. He just relates to everyone. And yeah, I suppose when I get old, I'd like to be able to do the same thing.
My name is Gil Askey, called me anything but late for dinner. I want you to be the best that you can be. And if you don't succeed, try and try again. And if you keep on trying, you know, and you don't succeed, try something else. But if it's your dream, you live it. Don't let nobody take that dream away from you. We're going to take a little pause and come down in the show and have a little taste of this here hall, okay? We'll be right back. Fiction. I think you know more enough about me now. You know, you can look on your internet. If you punch in on Google, get Google on your mic on your windows and punch in my name. You see all of the recordings and things that I've done. I guess so. I heard. I only saw it once.